Good morning, folks. Welcome to another quick tip from Mark. Today we're going to look at enhancing color in an image using the LAB or luminance A and B color channels to enhance the color on this subtly black and white almost image. So let's get started. What we have here is a picture of fog and some trees, and I want to bring out the green in the trees here and the green in the trees here while not disturbing the brownish color in the clouds. That way it'll make the green just stand out a little bit more. So what we can do here is we can duplicate the layer, which is one of the first things you want to do. So we can go over here and duplicate the layer by hitting Command J on a Mac or Control J on a PC. And as you can see here, we've now added a layer. The next thing we want to do is we want to go up and we want to change the mode of this layer here so that we can adjust it in LAB mode. So let's go up here to Image, Mode, and click the LAB color. That'll change the image from a RGB to an LAB image. We should be presented with this flattened screen. Do you want to compress the images together? And no, we don't. So we don't flatten it. That way we'll have this image available to compare against our original. We are now in the LAB mode, and what we want to do here is we want to perform a curves adjustment to this layer to bring out the colors. So let's go up here to Image, go to Adjustments, go to Curves. And as you can see here, different from the RGB layer, we have LAB, lightness, A and B colors. So let's check and go to our A color range, and we have our curves here. We're going to adjust our curves inward on either side, and that way we will enhance the color. Go ahead and take a look at the picture here and watch how the colors change. Right now we have a negative 128 input. So let's go ahead and adjust that by pulling that slider over. And as you can see, it really does enhance the color quite a bit. We don't obviously want to go that far. I think we start at about a negative 128. I think the color should go down to about maybe minus 100 for this one. And that brings out the little bit of color here. Now we want to adjust curves on both sides of the image to an even amount. So let's go ahead and click the other light curve and bring that down to an even 100. And let's do that again for our B channel to bring out the B channel colors. Alternatively, instead of pulling the slider over, we can just double click in the input box here and type in 100. And then we can click on the other one. It's already highlighted, as you can see here, and we type in minus 100. We've now enhanced the color of this image. It doesn't look a lot different, but let's take a look. Let's hit OK because we're done adjusting. And then let's go over here and deselect this layer and take a look at the difference between the two. As you can see, it's subtle, but it's gone to a considerable greenish blue tint here when we click it. So what we want to do is avoid this color change in the clouds. We wanted to keep that nice neutral color, but we want to enhance the color in our greens. So we can take this secondary layer that we've adjusted and we can modify it with a mask. We'll add a mask over here. But first what we'll do, in order to get it back to RGB, is we'll go up to our image selection here, go to mode, click RGB color, and once again we'll get presented with a flattened screen, and we don't want to flatten our image because we still want to look at the difference between the two images. So we hit don't flatten, and now it's back to RGB. We check it and it still has that modification of color. So let's go ahead and add a mask to it. We come down here and we do an add layer mask to it, and then what we'll do is we'll click on the layer mask to make sure it's selected, and we'll use the Control I key or Command I key to convert this from a white layer to a black layer. In layers, white reveals and black conceals. So we're going to conceal the change completely and then just brush it in subtly in the green areas here. So let's go ahead, we've selected that, we hit Command I, and we've we've removed the change in color from the mask, so now it doesn't show up in the image. At this point we'll go ahead and we'll paint that in using a white brush on the mask. So let's go ahead and select our brush here, and we can select a decent size here so that we can brush it in. And let's take a look at our brush and see how much color we can add into those trees without affecting the image itself. And as you can see, as we brush here, it starts to hit the clouds. Let's go ahead and we'll complete brushing in the trees and see what kind of change that makes for us. And then let's go back, change our colors to default here. The two color swatches here, to change them to default, you just hit D for default and it changes the colors back to the default. And then hitting X or exchange will exchange the brushes from black to white or white to black, and then we can rearrange our size of our brush here and go in and bring our clouds back to the normal color that they were. And of course you want to adjust your clouds just back to where they were. And of course you can change your brush size so that we can avoid some of this blue in here that got brought in when we did the change. Let's go ahead and bring that color back down on that. And as you can see, we have pretty good control over the picture. We've retained the brown here in the clouds, and we've brought out the green here in the trees. So let's go ahead and take a look at this by clicking the eye icon on the layer and see what a difference we've made. As you can see in the bottom there, we've brought out quite a bit of the blue. And we've also brought it out on the top. Personally speaking, I don't like that much blue in the bottom. So I'm going to take my mask here, which is selected, and I'm going to increase the size of my brush, and I'm going to brush out that blue here on the bottom because I think it's just a little bit too intense. And we brought back that down to where it wants to be. So now if we take a look here, we've brought out the blue in the trees up above, and we've left it down below normally. Let's go ahead and take our brush down a little bit. We have this cloud up here. Let's go ahead and bring that cloud back down to the brown that we had before. We can just brush that in there like that. There we go. And this is all just fine detail work that you want to continue to do, which isn't really part of this tutorial. But as you can see here, what we've done is we've subtly changed the color in the image to enhance it and bring out a bit of the color that we want to see. And of course you can do this with just about any kind of photo. Most photos just require a slight subtle change to bring out and enhance them. So here we have our difference. We've made a quick change to it. We've done it up, and now we're ready to print it out and send it on its way. Hope you enjoyed this quick little tip, and we'll talk to you next time.